Someone who was deployed in Afghanistan, deployed to Iraq, served as an infantry officer, attaining the rank of major, was an analyst at Bear Stearns, an executive director at Vets for Freedom and Concerned Veterans for America, and most recently, a political commentator on Fox News from 2014 to 2024, where he was a weekend co-host on Fox and Friends. Does that sound like a qualified resume to be the Secretary of Defense? To be the head of the entire Secretary of Defense? Let's try another one, okay? Served in Congress for 4 terms. Then as governor, elected in 2018, gaining attention for opposing the statewide mask mandates, whose key achievements include advocating for limited government and being endorsed by Donald Trump. Qualified to be the Secretary of Homeland Security? Question mark. Do they sound qualified to be the head of the Department of Homeland Security? Let's try the last one. This one's my favorite, okay? Career highlights include environmental lawyer, founder of Pace University's Environmental Litigation Clinic, founder of the Waterkeepers Alliance, as well as prominent anti-vaccine activist in 2005, spreading vaccine misinformation, including debunked claims linking vaccines to autism, founder and chairman of Children's Health Defense, an organization critical of public health measures and vaccines. Do they sound qualified to be the head of the Department of Health and Human Services? Why am I reading the resumes of Trump's cabinet picks? Well, because we are talking about making America a meritocracy. Am I right? Fuck DEI. Seriously. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Let's bring back a meritocracy, a true meritocracy. Donald Trump signed this executive order, right, ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity. Hell yeah, let's do it. Illegal DEI and DEIA policies not only violate the text. You know, I'm starting to think that Americans just don't like acronyms. LGBTQ, DEI, FBI, DOJ. We just can't have any acronyms. They're not able to comprehend that. They think 3-letter acronyms are all evil. Illegal DEI and DEIA policies not only violate the text and spirit of our long-standing federal civil rights law, they also undermine our national unity as they deny, discredit, and undermine the traditional values of American hard work, excellence, and individual achievement in favor of unlawful, corrosive, and pernicious, wow, that's a big word for you, Donald Trump. I'm surprised. Snaps around the class for that one. Identity-based spoils system. I agree. Let's get rid of these unlawful, corrosive, and pernicious identity-based spoiled system. Like, I don't know, having an entire cabinet that's filled with your donors and your sycophants. I asked ChatGPT to make me a resume for Hegseth, Kristi Noem, RFK, and Tulsi Gabbard based off of the Wikipedia summaries. That was what I started this video with, and it's still, like, they sound good. Like, not gonna lie, it sounds pretty good on paper. Still doesn't sound good enough to be the head of these departments, to be in charge of the most. I didn't even get to read Tulsi's, whose entire political career consists of deployments, officer training completed. That's her military service. I'm not knocking her military service. I thank her for her military service. I'm just confused on how this qualifies her for DNI. U.S. representative, member of the Armed Service Committee, not even intelligence. That's on her resume. That's not me, that's ChatGPT. Listen, the fact that we have to have like a color-coded, like, these are Trump's big donors, which there's more. This doesn't have the full cabinet list, but there's more that have donated to him, either legally or Pam Bondi had like half of her net worth tied up in DJT stock. Is that not ridiculous? Like, is that not crazy? Is that, nothing? Going back to his executive order, I need to emphasize this merit-based opportunity, this is bullshit. Like, I'm not saying that he's being racist and sexist and homophobic, okay? I'm just saying that if we really cared about merit-based opportunities, okay, we wouldn't be putting all of our all of our friends, Florida origin. Why is that a category? Like, we wouldn't be putting all of our rich billionaire buddies into the cabinet. And it's not just me saying that they're unqualified, other than the fact that they have Donald Trump backing them. Hegseth's entire fucking opening statement was, I have nothing behind me other than Donald Trump.
It's an honor to come before this committee today as President Donald Trump's nominee for the office of Secretary of Defense. 2 months ago, 77 million Americans gave President Trump a powerful mandate for change, to put America first, at home and abroad. I want to thank President Trump for his faith in me and his selfless leadership for our republic. The troops have no better commander-in-chief than Donald Trump. As I've said to many of you in private meetings, when President Trump chose me for this position, the primary charge he gave me was to bring the warrior culture back to the Department of Defense. He, like me, wants a Pentagon laser-focused on lethality, meritocracy, warfighting, accountability, and readiness.
All right. I don't know what you guys heard, but what I heard was Donald Trump picked me because I'll do what Donald Trump says, and Donald Trump knows that. He picked me because he wants the same things that I want, and I'll do what he says. And I'm very loyal, and Donald Trump has a mandate, and the people elected him, and so you need to elect me because the people elected him. Which is ironic, because he starts the entire thing by saluting or applauding the fucking checks and balances process.
I'm grateful for and have learned a great deal from this advise and consent process. Our founders knew what they were doing.
Like, is he just a guy? Is he just, like, really unself-aware? Is that it? I refuse to believe that they're just this brazenly shameless. Sir, do you have no shame? I'm getting like heart palpitations right now. Donald Trump went so far back in his, like, he went, what's the earliest? It's 1960? Guys, he repealed an executive order about discrimination from 1965. That just looks bad. That's just bad optics. The head of each agency shall include in every contract or grant reward blah, 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 this one, a term requiring such counterparty or recipient to certify that it does not operate programs promoting DEI. What? Government is not allowed to work or endorse or be affiliated with any business that has any type of inclusivity. Terminate all diversity, equity, equitable decision-making, equitable deployment of financial and technical assistance, advancing equity, and like mandates, requirements, programs, or activities as appropriate. These are all just buzzwords. Do you notice how these aren't like addressing any, like, everything in this executive order is just buzzwords. We're getting rid of DEI, we're getting rid of inclusivity, we're getting rid of equity, we're getting rid of inclusion, we're getting rid of decision making. We're like, it's all of these buzzwords that are meant to piss people off, but it doesn't actually, like, it's not addressing the actual, it's not an issue, number one, but what they think the issue is that there's not enough meritocracy and people are just being handed these executive positions just because they're a woman, just because they're not white, just because they're not straight or whatever. The solution is to get rid of the word diversity. What is up with Donald Trump and words? Like, oh, I love tariffs. It's such a beautiful word. Tariffs, it's the most beautiful word. Diversity, that's not a beautiful word. We don't like diversity. We're getting rid of it. Hang on, can we just also, like, encouraging the private sector? Hello, Republicans, government encouraging the private sector, government influencing the private sector. What? Why are you not freaking about this? I'm freaking about this. It's okay if we have a big government so long as it's my big government. It's okay if we have unfair hiring practices so long as they benefit me. It's okay if we don't have a meritocracy so long as I get my people in. That's all it is, really. It's just hypocrisy. Shameless hypocrisy. This is actually heartbreaking, okay? It never ceases to amaze me how dramatic and fucking pissy Republicans are, meanwhile claiming that Democrats are the emotional ones, that Democrats are the ones that are like so extreme and so far out of the Overton window. Like, if you think that there are people out there that are getting positions of power unfairly handed to them, why would you go so many far steps down removed and just take away every single diversity and equity and include? Like, there was no steps made to put more requirement because they don't care about the actual solving of the issue. I speak as if they have good faith. They don't. They just like pissing people off. They don't care about these issues because they're non-fucking issues. Like, if you think that there is all of these women, all of these black and brown and and gay women getting all of these positions of power that they don't deserve. Why don't you just go and like investigate that? Why don't you put more restrictions, requirements on that? Why don't you just like, there's so many different conversations that we could have before we just get rid of the word diversity and equity in any business, fucking private sector workplace. Like, and it's like, I know what the majority of these things are stemming from. It's stemming from like the people that get pissed off when like there's pronouns at the bottom of an email, or the people that are getting annoyed because they have to do like some type of like sexual harassment or like training program, and all of a sudden it's putting you in these unrealistic scenarios. Like, what would you do if a transgender person came into your restaurant and needed to use the bathroom? Like, what situation would someone come in and introduce themselves, hi, I'm transgender and I need to use the bathroom? Like, what? These aren't situations that we would find ourselves in. Like, normal people just go to the bathroom. Just go. Use whatever. What happened to the Donald Trump that said, use whatever bathroom you feel comfortable with? I don't give a fuck if Caitlyn Jenner wants to use the female bathroom. Like, but this idea that people just can't be inconvenienced in the slightest, like, it's literally just like what, like an hour? Just like an hour of your time, just to, like, the same way that you have to sit down and do all of the mandatory like company meetings and do all of the onboarding and do all of the, oh, this is how you have to open the register, this is how you have to file your taxes, this is how you have to register for this, and this is how you get your, like, everything in life is inconvenient. Like, there's always going to be something to inconvenience you. It's the same thing. People just don't like it because it's new to them, it's uncomfortable to them, and if it doesn't apply to them, they don't think that they should have to be inconvenienced by it. But it's like, we live in a society. Like, we live in a society and there are societal norms. Can you imagine going up to this woman and like screaming in her face and telling her that she needs to use the men's bathroom? Can you imagine explaining to a little boy why this woman is in the men's bathroom? Like because she's transgender? Like, in reality, no one that sees that woman that doesn't know that she's transgender would know that she's fucking transgender because she's passing. No one, in reality, no one would even think twice about seeing her go into the female bathroom, to the women's bathroom. And this is a conservative person. Like, I'm not just defending like some fucking radical left transgender liberal. This is Blair White. She's a conservative YouTuber who talks all the time about how she's transphobic. It's like, I may not like what you say, but I will fight tooth and nail for you to say it. Like, I may not like but I will fight for you to have rights. I will fight for you to be in the bathroom. Like, I'll fight for you to use whatever bathroom you feel comfortable with, Blair White, even though we disagree like that, because I'm a normal, decent person, okay? Ben Shapiro admitted that he doesn't go out in his day-to-day life misgendering people and like actively dead-naming people, because that's not how you function in a society. And people are so just like wrapped up in themselves and like absorbed in themselves that they forget that like you interact with people. We live in a world, human connections are all we have. What guys, this is getting very philosophical, but like, genuinely, what do we have if not human connections? Like, how you can't just throw away any type of relationship with any type of human because you're miserable and you want to take a stand on some woke liberal fucking agenda that's non-existent. Like, that's not being pushed down your throat at all. I'm done being black-pilled, guys. I'm positive. I'm positive and hopeful and energetic and ready for the next 4 years. Oh yeah. We're so lucky that we get to be on the right side of history. That's how you have to think about it. We're lucky that we're on the right side of history. Hang on. Let me just tell me that this guy isn't a dictator. In like a presidential lineup, tell me this guy's not a dictator. Okay? I know it, you know it. We're on the right side of history. That's it. That's all we gotta think about. This is not gonna go down in the history books as a good time. Okay? This is foreshadowing.